Alright, welcome to my channel, Global Effect 1969. Today I'm going to give you some, my arm hurts a little bit right here from using the weed eater. I didn't use the strap, and I didn't have this arm adjusted right, the handle adjusted right. So I had my arm bent most of the time. So I kind of woke up sore with my arm this morning. The bicep of my arm kind of hurting there a little bit. But I'll get over it. Being a baby. Anyway. Today's video is I'm going to give you some tips on this. I'm not going to be showing it running. Basically, I'm going to give you tips on how to use this weed eater. And some tips to help you out. Definitely use a shoulder strap. I don't got the shoulder strap for this one right here, but I can show you. I got my steel weed eater right there, which is the FS56 RC weed eater. And that's got the shoulder strap on there, and I'll show you more or less how to get that going. I mean, how much better it is to have the shoulder strap on there, man, because it makes a big difference. And definitely don't be bending your arm when you're weed eating. Use the shoulder strap, and all you got to do is just hang down, let it like that, do the work, man. That's all you got to do. That's what you want to do. Because holding like this, you're going to wake up with a sore arm. Okay, today I'm going to be showing you a couple of different tips and adjustments you can use for using this weed eater, which will help you a lot when you're weed eating. Like I said, you're gonna get a sore arm, man. That's crazy. And I wrote some stuff here. Basically, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5, 6 different tips, and show you more or less some of the stuff how to do. This is actually a pretty good weed eater right here. This is an Eagle 56 volt weed eater. Weed trimmer, whichever you want to call it. It don't matter, but it's there. And this actually extends. And basically, everywhere you see like green buttons or stuff, green, 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 green. Everywhere you see green is basically some sort of either trigger or adjustment clamp that you can do to adjust the weed eater. This green right here pulls the string in automatically right by itself, so you don't have to wind it in. Like on my weed eater right there, I gotta wind it in, the string, when I put new string. This one's pretty cool, you don't have to wind it in. You put the string in there, you push this button, and it'll automatically suck in the string. Okay, first of all, I guess I'll start off right here with showing you how to install the battery. The battery right here has got a slot you just slide right into. You can see where it slots in like that, and it slides into it. Got the battery right here. This is the battery right here. It's going to be sliding in. As you see, when you turn the battery, there's the same slot right there. When you put it in, basically, you get that right there. You're going to slide it right in over that slot. You're going to grab it. The cavity there, you just slide it right in. Push it in, it'll snap in. Now that we have the battery in, all you gotta do is push the hand, pull this trigger in. We'll push it forward, because it's got a safety lock. Push forward, and then you can pull up on it and it'll run. Next, I'm going to show you the handle adjustment. Turn this way to show you that part. Get some of my junk out of the way here. the handle adjustment, you got a trigger right here. You pull up, and then you can slide it back and forward. Wherever you want to adjust your handle to. And when you're done, just pull the trigger back down with a little latch, I should say. Push the latch back down and you're ready right there. Here's a close-up view, because I like to give you a close-up view so you can see what's going on besides seeing from far away and missing out on it. Push that up right there. You're going to slide it forward, slide it back, slide it wherever you want, snap it back, and it's ready to go. Now, depending how tall or short you are, let me move this handle down a little bit. You know what, I'm showing you this handle, I might as well show you the handle part first before I move on. You can also move your handle, you can twist it. See how it's twisted right there? Snap it back on. That way when you're edging, you got your handle right there. See how it holds it like that? You don't have to be holding all awkward, trying to edge. You can just turn your handle and just hold it like that, like your regular weed eating there. And that's pretty neat actually, I like that right there. Let me put it back straight. Now we're moving to next. We'll be showing you the string too, how to feed it in there. We're moving to next. This is telescopic. For you're a shorter person or taller person. You also got a lever here, which I will show you close up in a minute too. You pull that lever up. Now you can come in with the weed eater and make it shorter. Pull it out, make it longer. Not by much, but it's enough for if you know you're taller or shorter and you could use that little bit distance. Hey, it works, man. All right, let me, I'll put it about halfway there, close it up, and bring you over here. Once again, to extend it and push it back in, you just pull this lever up. That's how simple it is. You can go in, make it shorter, pull out, make it longer. Like I said, it ain't by much. But it's enough if you're taller or shorter and you need that extra little distance. You put it where you got to have it at. And I'll show you more or less where you should have it or adjust it to your likings. And all you do is clamp it back on whenever you got the distance ready to go where you want it at. So now that I showed you that part, I'll go ahead and back up these horses. I'm going to use the strap on my steel weed eater to show you more or less how comfortable it is to use the strap, and it helps a lot, man. Cause like I said, I woke up with that sore arm this morning, man. But let me remove that strap off my steel weed eater because I don't got the strap for this one right now. I gotta get it. I'm gonna remove the strap from my steel weed eater and get this weed eater out of the way because we're not making a video about this weed eater anyway right now. All right, I'm gonna give you more or less an idea of where the handle should be. You don't want it all the way down like this because the weed eater comes down like this. See that? Now you're going to have to do work and be holding this up like this. You want the weed eater handle at least halfway. I'm going to use this completely telescopic because I'm not a very short person and I'm not tall either, but I'm tall enough where I need to extend it out instead of like this. See? So pull the handle all the way up, put it there. Now look at, you see how that leans over? That's a no-no. You don't want that. You might want to slide your handle up. Matter of fact, I think I like it right about there. See now, the battery's heavy, I ain't gonna lie, because on my regular steel weed eater, the gas trimmer, you don't want to lean back like that, but look, this battery's pretty heavy, so I can see why people are like pulling on it like that. But now that I got it extended down like that, you find your height, but like right there, perfect for me weed eating. I can weed eat right there at a good pace right there without having to. Let me see. Yesterday I ended up with a sore arm because I didn't have this adjusted right and I had it way too far up. And most of my weed eating I was doing with my arm bent like this. And I was basically lifting the weed eater while weed eating like that. That's a no-no, man. I actually woke up with my arm sore. It's literally sore right now. But I should have did it the right way. But like I was making the video, and I didn't even think of doing that because it was tall grass over there. I mean, I'll show you part of the grass a little bit here. It was pretty tall grass, so I was lifting up like this the whole time. Well, I ended up with a sore elbow and the bicep arm on my arm right there. Right here where you want it, adjust it straight like this, basically where how you want it to be weed eating. Now I'm gonna put the strap on and I'll show you. Right here, you're still holding the weight. With a strap, you don't hold the weight. You just kind of let it sit there, basically, and then you can weed eat. And most of the weight being held with a strap. Like I said, I don't got the strap for the Eagle weed eater right now, but I'm gonna use the strap for my steel weed eater. And the strap is adjustable too, where you want it. Right here, you can just loosen that up. You can slide up or down wherever you want it. So it can hang, the weed eater hangs wherever you want it too. So when you're weed eating, tingle all this, man. There you go. When you're weed eating, put the strap on. Adjust it. You can adjust it to your length right here. See how I got it adjusted there? Hopefully you can catch the view on the weed eater right there. It's basically where I need it. So I don't got to slide up and down. Look what happens if I slide it there. It's going to come up. So I got it too far up now. So now when I'm weed eating, now I'm putting pressure. I'm working. I'm doing extra work there. See that? You don't want that. Find the perfect spot. Even if you go way over there, let me see. Way over there, see it way at the top. Now I'm too far down when I'm weed eating. Now I'm going to be pulling up on the weed eater. I'm going to be pulling up on the weed eater so I'm not rubbing the head on the ground and weed eating. You see that? So just find your perfect spot where you're going to just play with it a little bit. That's a little bit leaning too little, probably right in the middle. Let me see. That's right there perfect for me. Now what I do is tighten it up right there. Now when I'm weed eating, basically, I could actually go up a little bit higher. I guess depending where I put the strap there, you can adjust the strap a little bit there too. So now, I'm gonna go a little bit higher, man. Just to here. Just to show you, man. There you go. Now it's like on the ground right above where you want it, right about a couple inches, depending on how you want the grass or whatever. Right there, I got it about 2 inches or so off the ground. And I can basically not even have to use this arm because I got the strap on. Now I can just go around weed eating like this. See that? Definitely, see how they go ahead and go down, hit the ground and bang on there because I got the strap adjusted right on where it's got to be. So definitely, if you got the strap, use the strap. It's a lifesaver on this arm, man, because I woke up sore. Anyway, now when I'm weed eating, I'm swinging this around. I'm not using my shoulder and my elbow and bicep right here pulling up and down like this and end up waking up sore like I did this morning. Now I'm using this arm just to swing it. Both of these arms basically just to swing it because the shoulder is holding all the weight right here. So you just trim away. That's all you got to do. That's how simple it is. I got a piece right there by the garbage. I can show you right quick what I'm talking about. So basically, like I said, like it's just hanging there like that. So when I'm doing the work, I'm just going to do the swinging now. I'm not going to be holding up like I was yesterday. And that's on my video before this one. You can go watch it. Sugar I don't really care for, but like I said, pull forward, now I can pull up on it. Look at that. even though you see me sometimes my arm bends a little bit because I'm going a little bit awkward angle, but really I'm just holding it level because, like I said, look right here, it's not even really doing nothing. It's just to run it. All the weight is on my shoulder, and I don't have to do this with your arm right here. So you can, like I said, you can even bend your arm like this. You ain't putting no pressure on this. Right there, look, basically that's all it is, man. Just weed it away, man. Okay, now I'm gonna remove the strap. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the strap off of here because this belongs to my steel weed eater. I'm gonna put it back on my steel weed eater right there. Just clip right on. So if you already got a strap, I mean, you can use it whichever weed eater. It don't matter really. Let me put this down right here. Okay, next, let me see, I showed you the battery, I showed you the trigger, how to run it, I showed you how to adjust the grip, your handlebar, and I showed you how to adjust your length. Now I'll show you the speed settings right here. You got two different speed settings, and I'll let you hear both of them. When you push this button in right here, you're going to have two lights. Push it again, one light. That's the low setting. That's low setting right there. Push it in again. This is the high setting. I'll give you a close-up view of that. See, I can feel it. Just that little bit I had that shoulder strap on, it made a difference, man. I can feel the weight again for not having the shoulder strap on right now. I'm not being a baby. I guess you can say I am in a way. Crying. Anyway, like I said, I woke up with my arm all sore. Here's a close-up view on the setting, on the speed setting. When you push it there, you'll see the green light light up right there. Push it again, look. One light, that's the slow setting. Two lights, that's the high speed setting. I'll let you hear it again. Okay, the slow setting right there. Now we're going to go to the high speed setting. All you do is push in, it's that simple. This is the high speed setting sound. So there you go, 1 and 2. It's very simple to do. Like I said, I don't know if you can hear the difference. I barely hear the difference, but I got bad hearing because when I was younger, I used to never listen to my parents, and I didn't wear earplugs and listen to loud music and stuff. So now I got like a little bit bad hearing there, but that happens to some of us when we don't listen. All right, let's move on. I had to wait a little bit because somebody's passing by on buggy there jamming the music, and I didn't want to get copyright violation for having music on this video. Next, I'm going to show you, I guess, to take out the string to show you how the auto restringing works. This is pretty cool. I like that. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that's a gas weed eater. My steel weed eater is a gas weed eater. But if they could hook up some kind of battery where it auto feeds, I mean, that'd be nice. I like the auto feeding on this. This is actually pretty nice. I'm gonna show you that. But since I'm gonna show you that, I guess I might as well show you how to take this weed eater head apart to pull the string off if you had to pull the string out. Normally you don't have to pull the string out unless something jams up in there or something. You got clip right here, you push in on both sides, and then you can just slide it right down. Okay, I raised the tripod so you can see more or less what I'm talking about. Right here you can push in on both sides, and then you can release the head to remove that old string out of there. That's exactly what I'm going to do right here when I'm showing you. Okay, what I'm going to do, show you how to do it. You push in right here, just push in and pull down a little bit. Twist it around, push in, pull down a little bit again. If you have to do it again on the other side, once you get it all wiggled out, there you go right there. And then pull the string out right there, if you still got string in there. Because this string is still in there, but I'm just showing you how to, I'm going to show you how to, it auto feed. It auto winds the string in there, which is pretty neat. Very hot out here. We're in the 90s. That's one getting ready to go. Look, the string's even coming out. It's already quitting on the job. It's so hot. You see it popped out on its own right there. That's crazy. All right, now I showed you how to remove the head by pushing those two clips in. The weed eater string's in there wrapped up. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. And if you watch the video from yesterday, you'll see. I'm actually surprised there's that much string in there, because when it was jammed up yesterday, the weed eater head had two different strings in there. And when I pulled it out and I put the string in there to wind up by itself, man, I could swear, well, it might have been a little bit longer than this, but it was short like this, and I didn't put new string in it. But I'm surprised there's still this much string in it. So I cut quite a bit. If you go watch my video from yesterday, I cut quite a bit. And tall grass, very tall grass, weeds basically. And I'm surprised they didn't use much of the weed eater string. I'm just amazed. What I'm gonna put today, I got some more of the string that came with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the weed eater string I use on my weed eater, on my steel weed eater. But it's the same process. You feed it in there, auto feeds in there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this cap back on. Just find where to line up the slot. And snap right in there like that. Now this is the crazy part, man. So now, all I'm gonna do is get this weed eater string, and I'm gonna feed it in there, where the hole is right there. And it should automatically come out the other end. Right there, you see that? It came out the other end right there. Okay, I'm gonna give you a close-up view on this right here, because this is pretty neat. I like it. You just stick it in the hole right there, slide it in, and move the camera over so you can see. It's gonna come out right. Slide it in, it's gonna come out right over here on its own. Check it out. Nice, it came out the other hole right there. You see that? Now what you're gonna do from this point, you're just gonna pull this to even it out. Okay, once you get the string started, now all you're gonna do is just pull it out, even it out. Just find the length you're gonna put in there. I'll put the dimension of what the length should be at the bottom on the description, so you can go read the description. This is actually for my weed eater on my other, the length for the weed eater on my other weed eater, but it should be about the same from what I've seen earlier. I just forget what the distance was, the length was. So just grab both the ends if you want. Line them up. Either you can walk all the way out with it like that, as long as the weed eater ain't gonna fall. Or you can stay close by it like this. Just keep them pinned together as you're pulling. Basically right there, let me see. Right there is even right there. See how I got it even? Now this is the crazy part. Because you got this on my weed eater, I gotta self-wind it by hand. This is pretty good, because this is what I like about this weed eater the best. Because on this weed eater, you got this switch up here. All you're gonna do is push down on it, and it'll bring the weed eater string itself to kind of wind it up. And you don't have to worry about this, because when I first tried it, I thought like, well, this thing gonna spin and the string's gonna hit me trying to spin and put the string in there, you know. But no, this stays stationary right here basically, and the inside motor is gonna spin. And when that spins in there, that's what's gonna suck in the weed eater string. So you got all this weed eater string right here will be sucked in. You push the switch up here. Let me put a little bit right here. I'm gonna put my hand right here without I'll put my thumb and finger right here holding it, without letting it slide further in and out, so you can see how that it's sucking it in. You see that? That's crazy, right? I mean, like that's pretty neat to load, man. I like that. So you can just load your weed eater string in like that. Let me show you the button up here that I'm pushing, so you can see what's happening here. This is the button right here you're gonna push. When you push down, it takes the weed eater string in. Like I said, I'll hold some more out here, and you'll see how it just comes in. See, it just comes right in by itself. Wow, I mean, like, That was pretty good. Whoever thought of that idea. I like it. So, like I said, you just put that. You don't have to hold the string to stay even or nothing. It's just gonna suck it right in. I was just holding it to show you that it was actually sucking it in, and not that you think it wasn't. But now, well, not even holding it or anything. Look, I'm gonna put the string right there. It's gonna suck it right in by itself. I'm gonna push this down, and you'll just see it come in itself, and just stop it right when it gets, about to where the length is supposed to be. Just let go of the button. Here's the button. Look, like I can sit right in front of it. I don't gotta worry about it hitting me. I ain't got no fool going over there and pulling the trigger while I'm sitting here. Anyway, check it out, watch. Push the button down. It's actually going in there. You see the string getting shorter? About right there, a little bit more. There's the cutoff. About right there. It went in a little bit too much, but it don't matter because once I start running it, it self-extends itself too. That's the good thing about this weed eater. It's pretty neat. You don't have to tap it on the ground like a regular weed eater. As you're cutting, the string feeds itself out. And my first thought was, well, what happens if is it a gimmick to like it extends the string out by itself, and little by little it's cutting too much string because it's pulling too much out? And there's some kind of sales gimmick that way you have to keep buying more string. But I've come to the conclusion that it's not like some kind of sales gimmick, because really it ain't wasting your string. Because like I said, if you go back to my yesterday's video, there wasn't much more string than this than what I put in there after I had adjusted. There was 2 pieces of string in there, and I pulled them out and just left the longer one there. So there wasn't much more string than this right here. So I was surprised when I pulled this string out to put more string in there to show you this part, how it still winds the string in there, because I was expecting it to be like probably like this short, like basically like I thought it was gonna be like this short. It was almost out of string because I was doing some high stuff with it. You go back and look at the video from yesterday, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I figured I ripped up a lot of string, but then when I opened it up and I seen I had like this much string left, I was like, no way, man, because that high, tall, tough weeds right there, grass, whatever you want to call it, was pretty hard to cut, and I figured they used a lot of weed eater string. So it's not some sales gimmick where it's gonna keep pushing string out and then the string runs out and you gotta keep buying more string and replace it. That's not what happened at all. So now I got some more string in there, new string I put in there. I'm gonna walk it out there and weed a little bit, and you can see it's short right there. Oh, this one way shorter when I reeled it in. This one a little bit longer. There's the cutoff right there. You see the cutoff is way far away from it. What I'm gonna do out there now, I'm gonna go out there and weed eat a little bit, and then it don't matter if you tap it. No string's gonna come out on this one when you tap it, so it's got to come out on its own. So I'm gonna go out there, weed it a little bit, then I'll stop it and I'll show you. The string should be longer because it should automatically self-feed the string out as it's getting shorter. How it works, I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that it does work and it does not waste the string. At least from what I can see, it did not waste the string. Like I said, I've just been testing it out for about 2 days now. I've been testing it out, checking it out, see how this works. And I actually like it, I ain't gonna lie. But at this point in time, there's no way I'll give up my gas weed eater for electric weed eater. I just don't think they're strong enough and powerful enough as a gas weed eater. And like, I can show you my neighbor's yard. They leave the grass grow so high and stuff, even by the fence here, that I gotta use a powerful weed eater to trim some of the stuff that's growing so high that comes into my yard. But this is perfect if you got a good yard that's kept clean, or you don't got your neighbor's stuff all over coming into your yard. Let me weed eat a little bit. As a matter of fact, I'll weed eat some of the neighbor's high grass that I'm talking about right there. See if you don't come out yelling, because he likes to yell a lot, saying, hey, leave my grass alone. I'm surprised he hasn't got a code violation yet. We are in the county, you're allowed to grow. They don't really get mad at you, the grass grows so high, but if you got neighbors in the county, you can't get in trouble. Your grass grows super high, and this guy like literally got it growing real high, man. You'll see what I'll show you in a minute. But I'm gonna trim just a little bit right there so you can see that the string should pop out on its own. I'm gonna put the strap on from my steel weed eater because I definitely don't want to use the weed eater without without a strap, because like I said, it gets pretty heavy on you. It gets pretty heavy, and I woke, like I said, I woke up with a sore arm, man. I mean, it sounded like a baby, but man, sometimes a grown man does act like a baby. Put it that way, especially when his arm's hurting. Check it out. Now I got the strap on there. This is of course from a stew weed eater. Now I'm gonna go weed eat a little bit of that high grass, so I can show you what I'm talking about, how high the grass is, but actually gonna do a weed eating because I want the string to pop out, so I can show you the string does pop out on its own. Like I said, shoulder strap, a lifesaver, man. Look at that right there. I got over there. I'm gonna cut a little bit right here, and I don't know if you can see from over there, the string's uneven. It should sells free to sells out where it's even. That is crazy, man, because right away I heard it hitting the blade, which means it automatically sensed that the string was short and it sped itself out. Check it out. Right off the back, look at that. It came out on its own. Okay, I'm back. Somebody passed by with some music again, and I don't want to get a tag for music that's not mine. As you can see, look, right away, I don't know if you got to hear it because it's windy out here, but I heard it flapping. Right away, it shot out the string and made it even. It sensed that the string was short, and it just pulled it right out on its own. That's crazy, right? I mean, that's amazing how they make this stuff. But I like that. Anyway, let me do a little bit more there because I was gonna do something, but it came out right away, and so that's actually pretty good. Let me read a little bit right there. Yeah, somebody passed by playing some good music, man. I'm gonna go back and listen to it right there and see if I can find what music that was. It was a song and it was pretty good, man. But I can't hear that because I get a copyright strike then. But let me do a little bit of weeding right here. Yeah, I was amazed they shot out that string right away and evened it out. Here I go. right here. Doing the weed eating with one hand like this is just to show you how I meant. You know, yesterday I didn't have the strap in my shoulder. Basically my arm right here, my bicep hurt bad this morning. It's still sore. But you see how you can literally just do the work without even having to put pressure on it. You adjust the string the right length it's supposed to be at and everything. The weed eater is basically holding down exactly where it's supposed to be. And all you gotta do is weed eat. I mean, you still want to use this, your arm right here. Better adjusting everything when you're cutting. But I was just showing you, really you don't even need this arm in weed eating when you got the strap on. And man, that saves a lot of work. Look at that right there. The weed eater string stays the right amount. That's very good. Now here's what I got done between yesterday and today. Yesterday with that piece right there I did when I was my other video. And today I did this right here when I was showing you how it works when you're using the strap, how good it is to use the strap, and how it self-speeds the string. So this is right here. Look at it from this point of view. I'm cutting his yard little by little as I'm doing demos on, but that's actually pretty good that you let it grow like that, because now I can just make videos on weed eaters that I'm gonna make videos on. Check it out, man. Yeah, he literally don't cut it, man. And last time I was trimming some of it and he had a fit. He told me to stay off his yard. He's a schizophrenic guy, man. Same with back here. I had to weed eat some of that. I had to jump the fence and weed eat some of that because that guy don't weed eat along the fence. As you can see, I jumped the fence and weeded that part right there. I jumped the fence, weeded that part right there, but as you can see, I didn't weed eat further down that way. So I'm basically almost done with the video here. I'm just gonna pull the strap back off and put it back on my weed eater. But I guarantee you, it sure does help to have that strap on, man. It does help to have the strap on. Like I said, even on this weed eater right here. I put it on. See, it hangs right there where I gotta have it at, man, and it just cuts good. You don't gotta be lifting. No, just let the weed eater do its work itself. Let me move this weed eater out of the way now. Alright, man, so I already got all dirty. He wasn't planning on getting dirty today, but I guess I'll just make another video later. It's just that it's so hot out there. And I literally sweat like crazy real easy. And remember, this is the string I pulled out. I put some new string in there. He will enjoy it. He let me borrow the weed eater to make this video. So I guess he gets a little bit of extra string with it. And this one I'm just going to throw away. It's a little bitty short one right here. It's the same diameter as that one, but I like that one better. But I had to pull this out to show you how it self-speeds in there, so that's pretty good right there. So this string I could just put like right there. Okay, it fell on the floor. It was supposed to land on there and be like a perfect shot, but it didn't. You know, I was trying to figure out, did I leave anything else supposed to show you here? Because this is basically just like the setup and stuff to help you out to run it better. Yesterday I made a video on putting it all together and running it, showed you a little bit of stuff here, but this video will mainly show you about the handle, where more or less to adjust it at for your height, or how to get the adjustment for your height. I'll show you this, where you pull this, you can extend it, make it shorter or smaller, shorter or longer depending on how tall you are. I'll show you the speed. High speed, low speed. I don't know if you can hear much of the difference on them, but that's how you work it. I guess I didn't show you a close up of the trigger. Let me show you a close up of the trigger right quick, because that's the only problem I really don't care for the trigger. But I'll show you right quick. Let me give you a close up, because you gotta push this forward to be able to pull it. And I'm used to my weed eater where I just pull and I'm ready to go. All right, this is right here where I was showing you. See, if you pull right now, of course you're gonna be like that, but I'm gonna be covering everything I'm trying to show you. So I'm showing you from back here. If you pull, see how it stops it? I mean, it's good for safety, I guess. If you're into that safety stuff, I'm used to just working. Where I used to work at, they didn't care about safety. And that's a big company. And when they had like OSHA and stuff come around, they tell you like, they come up and talk to you, say, no hablo en inglés. And that means I don't speak English. They say, no hablo en inglés. Talk to office personnel. They told us to say that. And I was like, come on, man. So I did say that, I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute here. But anyway, to pull this right here, you gotta push this forward like this, and you can pull the trigger. When you let it go, you're gonna have to do that again. Push forward, pull the trigger. There you go right there. So basically, I think I got just about everything that I could show you more or less for this video on adjustments, how to put the string in, how to pull the head off in case the string does get tangled in there, you gotta take it off. I guess back to what I was saying. Yeah, I'm sweating like crazy, man. Anyway, back to what I was saying about where I was working at before. They told us when OSHA comes around, it especially happened. We had a bigger company we're doing a big job for. And they told us when OSHA come around, they said when OSHA comes around, we had a big old meeting in the warehouse. They brought everybody together and they told us all, when OSHA comes around and asks you safety questions, because it's mainly Mexicans that are working there. And of course, some are from Mexico, but they have the green cards and stuff, whatever you call it nowadays, the paperwork. But I'm from the United States and you can tell I know English, but they told us all to say, because OSHA comes around and asks you any questions, well, not OSHA, the company personnel that we're doing the job for comes around and asks you any questions. They say, first thing you want to tell them to say, no hablo en inglés. Talk to hired personnel. So, seeing that I worked for that company for, I think 20 years, even though they screwed me around, and that's why I'm trying to make YouTube videos now and make some money. They screwed me around, laid me off because they hired this one guy. You know how you always get some guy get hired in there and always like, I don't want to say anything bad to get me kicked off the YouTube channel. You know, you got them guys that come in from another company, they got fired, and they sit there and they're like, so he ended up being my supervisor. Didn't know anything he was doing. He was a bad guy. Anyway, he ended up getting me basically kicked off of there because I had a seizure one day, and then he started a bunch of stuff on that. The safety guy was no worse. He was a drug addict himself. So was the supervisor they hired that didn't want me around because he didn't like that I was such a good worker and everybody looked up to me real good. I was already there 20 years. But anyway, back to what I was saying. When this job came around, what we were doing, they told us when the inspectors come by for that job, tell them, no hablo en inglés. Talk to higher management. So here's the point I'm getting to. I did just that, like they asked us to, out of respect for them. You know, out of respect for the company, because they asked us to. And they did have me there for over 20 years. And they did ask, you know, say, no hablo en inglés, talk to higher management. Because they knew mainly all Mexicans and basically people, a lot of people with green cards, so we hired like temp workers. And they were hired basically by people who just hired Mexicans with green cards. So I did do that. One guy come up and he's like, wanted to know what's going on, why we're doing it this way. He didn't like how something was being done. And I told him, no hablo en inglés, speak to higher management. And he looks at me, he's like, what? You don't know English? I go, yeah, I know English. He's like, what? Well, they told us when y'all come up to us to say no hablo en inglés, speak to higher management. Because they said they don't want to talk to you or tell you anything. Because we might say, answer your questions and give you an answer you don't like. Because they don't like to follow procedures here. So they told everybody, they had a meeting, pulled the whole yard together, and told everybody in the yard, when the inspectors come by, ask you any questions, just say, no hablo inglés, speak to higher management. So that's what I did. But if you got any questions, I can tell you anything you want to know. I mean, I said what they wanted me to say, but now I'm willing to talk to you the way I talk, and yeah, I can answer questions or anything, but I just want to make sure I said what they told me to say to y'all. And he said, no, it's okay, I'll go talk to the office. I'll go up to the office and have a talk with them, see what's going on. So the next meeting we had, they got the whole yard again together, and they never knew it was me, but they were pretty pissed, and they were like, we want to know who told the inspector that we told y'all to say, no hablo inglés, speak to higher management. And nobody spoke up, nobody said anything. And I, of course, didn't say, I wasn't going to say, hey, I did it, man. But I wasn't going to not talk to this guy if he, if you want me to talk to him. But once I told him what management told us to say, no hablo inglés, speak to higher management, and then I told him I would, whatever he wants, questions he wants answered, I would answer. But he was like, no, it's okay. I'll go talk up in the office. I guess he didn't want to get me in trouble. He didn't want me to answer questions, seeing that they told us not to speak to the inspectors and tell them anything they wanted to know, because they didn't like to follow rules. I mean, we had so many guys get hurt out of the job. They don't even help them out or anything. The company would not help them out. They just screw the workers over all the time and bank off of the workers, man. That's crazy. But that company's still running, but I'm not going to mention no name or nothing. I don't want to get in trouble here. But that's just a story to give here at the end right here. Anyway, I got more videos coming up. And I got some mechanic videos down here. Some more weed eater videos right there. And just a bunch more videos there. And right here you can subscribe. So subscribe, leave me a comment. I'm not ratting nobody out in my last story. It was just the story I wanted to tell about how no hablo inglés, speak to higher management. Me don't know English. Habla con alguien más adelante de mí. That's what they told us to say, but they told us to say it reverse order. Later. Thank you for watching, guys. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover here for y'all. My next video I got coming up. Be ready for it.